Hello, I'm EG and this is Crocheting with EG. And in this video I made a hat, but I'm going to be using it as an accessory to my existing baseball hat that I wear when I go out. Now I'll wear a hat because I have that bald spot that I show in my videos every time I turn around to look at my wall. But I wear a baseball hat when I go out, and a black one of course because I love black. And so I wanted to make like a cap, and so I made a cap, but I thought it looked better like on my hat because I love the look of the brim of my baseball hat. And so this one was just supposed to be this kind of cap by itself, but I thought maybe if I put it on my hat it might look kind of good, and it actually does. And so it's going to be my new thing. I'm going to be making all kinds of those caps to, you know, accessorize my hat or whatever. So I'll show that. And then I did get some yarn when Michael's clearanced out the Twinkle, the Big Twist Twinkle. They had the stickers there, and they said that it was going to be like the Variegated the ombre Big Twist. And so that they finally got some of them in. They didn't have all of them filled up, but they did get some of them, so I got some of those. And then I did get some yarn from Hobby Lobby. I already posted a video. Of course, by the time this video comes out, it was like, God, like a month ago. But when I had gone to Goodwill, I had messed up my words like 15 times in that couple times. I had gone to Goodwill and I got 2 bags of yarn, and they were really nice bags. And then a couple of days later, I went in there and they had those really big bags of yarn. And so I was so excited about those really big bags of yarn that I filmed the video already and posted it. I posted the other day, but by the time this video comes out, it's probably like a month ago. But I decided, because it was like this really fun experience getting those like 2 huge bags, and because it was around the 1-year anniversary of my very first big yarn haul on YouTube, I decided to do this thing where I was gonna film the video in my living room like I used to before I had my yarn room and everything. And so I pulled my cuffs out of retirement and like put my old cuffs on, and then I set up my backdrop to kind of mimic the thumbnail for that video. I'll put the thumbnail of that video in here, and then I'll link to that video in the description if you didn't see that one. But I got these like really big bags of yarn. But I set it all up in my living room, and it was just kind of a fun change to you know, go from in here to back in my living room, and it just kind of made me feel like you know, when I first came back to YouTube, and I had that big yarn haul from Yarn Inspirations, and I think I showed some Joanne yarn in that first yarn haul when I came back. But it was just like this fun thing to do the video in there. And so I'm already filmed that and posted it the other day. But after I'd gone into Goodwill and gotten that yarn, I said, like, I don't really have a sense of urgency to go over to Hobby Lobby because, like I've said, some of these, I mean, even though I'm getting Hobby Lobby yarns in these hauls from Goodwill, it's kind of... I'm realizing that there are a lot more yarns out there than Hobby Lobby, and so when I'm getting these big hauls from Goodwill, and there's all these really interesting yarns in there, it's making me feel like, you know, I mean, I still love going to Hobby Lobby, and I go there every single day looking for the clearance yarn, but it is kind of feeling like it's more of the same kind of thing. I mean, I wouldn't feel that way if I didn't go there every freaking day, but it just sort of feels like more of the same. And so I didn't really have the sense of urgency to go over to Hobby Lobby because I'd gotten those 2 bags. I think it was like $25 worth, and then those really big bags, and they had like, you know, over 100 skeins among the 2 bags. And so I just didn't have the sense of urgency to go over to Hobby Lobby on their shipment day. And so like I went to a couple other places, and I eventually went over there, and they had they put the yarn away and stuff. I went in there like maybe 2 times, and then they put the yarn in a cart, and they had it up by the cutting table. And I looked at it and I took a picture of it and all that kind of stuff. But they had maybe like 15 or 20 skeins in it, and a couple of them were nice. But I was just thinking, like, that one's nice, but I do have that one, and that one's nice. It just sort of feels like, I don't know. I mean, it's still fun to get the clearance yarn and stuff, but it feels like it's getting more fun to like find them in the wild and Goodwill. I mean, it's not in the wild, but you know what I'm saying. Like find a whole bunch of like random yarn in Goodwill or something, because you never know what you're gonna find in those bags. And so eventually the next day I did go into Hobby Lobby, and like even that day I dragged my feet because I thought it's gonna be another one of those things where they get a cart of yarn and they don't clearance at the shipment day, and then I go in the next day and I drag my ass out of bed because I sleep all day because I stay up up all night, and that's when I do my work, and then I'll sleep all day, and then when I get up and go over there, I'm assuming that whoever got in there in the morning already clearanced them and then put them on the shelves, and then they sat there for hours and somebody already bought them. And so I didn't have any sense of urgency to go over there, so I did go to a couple other places, and then when I went in there, they actually had some left. All the really good colorful ones were gone. There's a couple good ones in here, but like I was shocked that they even had these. So I did get some yarn from Hobby Lobby, even though I wasn't expecting to. And then the rest of the video is just going to be like a bunch of random things in one of my variegated videos. But I'll start with the make first. And so this is the hat. I'll put it on without the baseball hat, but it's just like one of these double crochet kind of cap things, because I know that they're really easy to make. The ones that the hats that I used to make were the ones where you make that really long panel and then you sew up the side and then you cinch up the top. But I never really made a cap before, and I keep making all these doilies, and I know that if you make a cap, like a traditional kind of cap, the same way to you do that is you start with a double crochet circle, like these doilies that I keep making. So I thought I'll make a round circle with the double crochet, and then when it gets to the point where you make like the double crochet circle, and then when it gets to the point where it's about to like go down your head, then that's when you stop increasing, and then you just do like a row and a row until you get down as far as you want. And of course, if you want it to come down like perfectly here, you just come down here, and if you want it to go down far enough where you can fold it up, then you just do a couple more rows and all that. Well, one of those caps. And so I made this cap, and it looks really nice. Of course, I made it in black. I use that Yarn Bee Soft, or it's just like black yarn, but I use that Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek, the chunky, the black chunky. This is really nice. I love that yarn. Every time I use it, it's really nice. But see, it's just like a regular kind of cap, which looks nice. I do like the look of this. But then I thought, I wonder if I could, because I miss like the brim on my my hat. I just thought I could wear this out if I just wanted to put like something on my head really easily, and then and just to cover my bald spot or whatever. Not that I care. I don't care. I can't see it, so it doesn't matter. The only time I ever see it is when I'm editing my videos, and then I see myself turn around and like give you a big shot of it in my videos. But anyway, so but I do wear a hat when I go out, and so but I sort of miss the brim of my hat. So I thought, I wonder if I could like just put this on top of my hat, and it actually worked. It looks really nice. And so this is just the baseball hat. I had to see. I keep saying that I have a big head in my videos. It's true. I had to buy an oversized hat. It's one of those, see, oversized caps. See, I mean, it literally says it in there. I had to get one oversized, and it's not because I have all this hair. It's just because I have a giant freaking head. But anyway, so I have this cap that I wear when I go out and everything. So that's what it looks like, you know, when I wear my baseball hat. But then I thought, I wonder if I could put this on top of it, and it's like an accessory, and it actually looks really good. And so, I mean, it's not really attached to it or anything, but it fits perfectly around it where it's not going to like blow off my head. And so, I mean, it looks really nice. So it's like I have my regular hat on, but then I can sort of accessorize it with these. I'm always accessorizing things. It's just weird that this is my life now. I mean, I never really imagined myself making accessories or like even doilies, or I'm like decorating my house and making all these things to decorate my house with. I say as I'm like, you know, staring at this giant yarn doll there. I know I'm making all these accessories for my house, and now I'm like accessorizing my my wardrobe with, like, you know, stuff like this. I mean, it's just like a black cap or whatever, and you could barely, like, the only person that would ever even notice that this was on my hat would be somebody that knows, like, recognizes crochet and all that, and they would notice that. But for the most part, people would just think, oh, it's just part of the hat or whatever. But I just think it looks really nice. And so now, because this turned out so nice, I'm gonna use all kinds of different yarns and make all kinds of these. You know, like I started to make my cane covers and stuff, and now I'm gonna have to start making like hat cozies or accessories or whatever you want to call it. I mean, I guess there's a way I could permanently attach this to my hat, but if I didn't have a giant head, and could just like go into a regular store and buy a hat, then I would attach it to this, and then I think, oh, I can just get another hat and make another hat, and where I would like actually sew this onto it so it would be permanent. But because I have to special order my hats because my head's so big, I don't have a whole lot of these. I have 2 of these. I got like a 2-pack on Amazon a long time ago, and so I only have 2 of these, and these are more expensive than like the regular mass-produced hats for, you know, people that have regular size heads. And so because these are special ordered and I don't have a whole lot of them, I don't want to like sew this to that and make it a permanent thing. So I'm just gonna, and it stays on there. It's not like it's floppy or it's just gonna fly off with I mean, maybe a big gust of wind or something. I don't know, but it fits so perfectly on the hat like this. It doesn't feel like it's gonna, you know, fall off or anything. In fact, it actually keeps my hat on my head a little bit better than it does without it. And so I thought what I can do is just like make a whole bunch of these, and then if I'm in a colorful mood, then I can just take the black one off and put like a colorful one on, or like whatever. And so accessorize it and make some to match my cane covers and my cuffs, whatever. So anyway, so I did make this cap thing, but I think it turned out really nice. But there's the make. And then, like I said, I got those 2 really big bags of yarn at Goodwill. And I forgot to say was when I was going through the line at Goodwill, the woman said, "Oh, you got them all, huh?" And it wasn't like a sort of a backhanded kind of a thing, like she was saying it in some negative way, like, "Oh, I got them all and didn't save it for her." It wasn't anything like that, because and I know that it wasn't some negative thing, because there was another woman in Goodwill a couple weeks ago, and she told us that because she was this really friendly woman, and she said that they're not allowed to buy anything in Goodwill, the employees and stuff, which is weird. Like, because my mom and I have this joke that like, "Oh, you know they're keeping all the good stuff," because like when we go through there and there's like nothing but crap in there sometimes, we say, "Oh yeah, they're probably keeping all the good stuff for themselves," or you know what I'm saying, just, you know, completely made up on our head that we assume that they keep all the really good stuff for themselves. But it turns out that they're not even allowed to shop in the store, and that would really suck, especially because we only have 1 Goodwill now. We used to have 2, and then there was a 3rd one that was sort of out of town, but not like as far as the town where my Joanne was or anything, but you know, it was sort of out of town, and that one's gone too. And so there's only 1 Goodwill, and so I can't imagine like, you know, working in there and like seeing all this stuff going through there, and then realizing that, you know, I can't shop in this store, and there's no Goodwill within like probably 50 miles. I don't know. So that was just weird to find out. But anyway, so when that woman said, "Oh, you got it all, huh?" I didn't take it as a negative thing. What I thought was, oh, thank goodness, because like when I got in those 2 smaller bags, they were big at the time. You know, the video that I filmed before this last one, it was probably my last video, but I filmed that before the big haul with like the 2 really big bags. But when I got those other 2 bags, I thought that they were big at the time, and then I got those 2 really big bags a couple days later, and so I was like, I had this urge to go into Goodwill like every day, because I was thinking like, are they going to have any more in the back? And so when I got those 2 really big bags, and that woman said, "Oh, you got them all, huh?" I thought, oh, good, so there's not going to be any more in the back that is going to come out. So I didn't have this sense of urgency to go in there every single day. So I felt like I had gotten all the yarn that they had in the back. But there was this woman that we see in there sometimes, and we asked her if there was any more yarn in the back that the next time we were in Goodwill, and she said, "Oh, come here and look." And so she gave us a little glimpse behind the door. We can see it. They have these little windows in there, and sometimes I'll like kind of glance to see if they have anything, because you can see when they're piling up stuff to like wheel out. And sometimes I'll like act like I'm looking at stuffed animals and kind of like glance in there. I'm always like, you know, peeking. No wonder I need a hat with a brim on it, because I'm always like, you know, peeking through shelves or like in little windows and stuff, like looking for deals. But anyway, so she actually let us look back there, not like go back there, but she opened the little swinging doors, and she said, like, this is what it's like. They get these like giant cardboard boxes in. I mean, like giant. I don't mean like, you know, a Yarn Inspirations order kind of thing, but like a giant box. They probably have to wheel in on one of those pallets on the bottom or whatever, like these giant cardboard boxes. And so they open up those boxes, and then they have to like sort through all that stuff, and then they sort it into these like plastic bins or whatever, and then they go over to the table and they price them, and then they wheel it all out. But so they don't really know what they're getting in. They just get in these giant cardboard boxes, and I'm sure a lot of that stuff is just stuff that like people donate locally, but they get so much stuff in that it just feels like they like a lot of it must be shipped in or whatever. I mean, especially if they're in these like giant cardboard boxes. But anyway, so she showed us like that's what the situation is back there, and so that's why if we go up to her and say, "Oh, do you have any DVDs back there?" Then she wouldn't know, because they're in these like everything is just piled up in these giant cardboard boxes, and so they don't really know what they have until they open them up and they start digging through them and sorting them and stuff. And there's probably clothes mixed in and everything, just all kinds of things. And so she doesn't really know. But she said this is like what it looks like back here. So you know, we don't really know what we have until we start going through it and stuff. But it was nice that she actually let us peek back back there. But anyway, so they didn't have any more yarn, and so, but it's not like I needed any more or anything. Or I say that as I'm about to, show the yarn that I got from Michaels, and then I'll show the yarn that I got from Hobby Lobby. But whatever, I'll do the yarn from Michaels. But like I said, they had clearanced out the Twinkle, and so that's all gone. And but they did have the stickers there saying that they were going to get some of the Big Twist ombre, and they didn't have all the colors filled up. And what was cool is I didn't notice this in the store, but they these were buy one get one 50% off, and so like I was going to get one of each of these anyway, but then when they were on sale at the register, I thought, holy crap, so that was a really good deal. So they're really nice ombre skeins, but at the same time I wish that they would have these and keep the Twinkle, or to get some and what's weird is they've gotten all of these. It's weird to look that they have these Big Twist variegated skeins, but like speaking of one of my previous hauls, like from the beginning when I came back to YouTube, I had gotten a Michaels order, and I intentionally bought like all of their variegated skeins, like the loops and threads, because my store only carries the Fiesta Multi or whatever. Like they have a bunch of variegated skeins on their website, but for some reason my store only carries the Fiesta Multi. That's the only one that they have. I mean, I think they have a couple in their Impeccable brand, but just like the regular loops and threads, like this one right here. I know that this is the regular loops and threads. So this is loops and threads, a soft classic in the color Orchid Mist Multi. Like this gorgeous colorway. I was shocked at how gorgeous this was when I got this in my Michaels order, because I was thinking, like, why don't they have this in my store? Why do they? I mean, Fiesta Multi is really pretty and it's really colorful and stuff, but this is gorgeous too. Like it's just kind of frustrating to think of all the yarns that are Michaels brands that aren't in my store. I know that my store is a small version of Michaels, but like you would think that if they had limited space, they would carry their own stuff, like stuff like this. And so yeah, I mean, I know that Michaels bought Joanne, like the brand, and like is carrying Big Twist and stuff, and so this technically is Michaels yarn, but like so is Loops and Threads, and this never ended up in my store. So but it's nice to see that they have these variegated skeins, but like they need to put some of their own in there too. So it's just weird that my store finally got in some variegated skeins that I guess is technically their brand, but they didn't put in any of their loops and threads yet, and it's been there for years. But anyway, so this is the Big Twist Value, and the color is gray ombre. So it's like one of those ombre skeins. I do love this. I mean, I love colorful things, but I do love skeins like this, all these different shades of gray. So there's that one, and then this one, Big Twist Value, in the color purple ombre. It's like a purple ombre skein. Has it's a little bit more like a grapey kind of purple with like it's sort of a stone wash look to it. So there's that one, and then a Big Twist Value in the color Happy Rainbow. Really vibrant. I love the teal blue in this, and then it has some green and pink and orange. It kind of reminds me of like the 1980s or something, or like the roller rink kind of like I can imagine if they turn this into a rug, this would be like the carpet that was in my roller rink when I was growing up, and I went to the roller skating rink. So that's what it kind of reminds me of, like an 80s, early 90s roller rink carpet, colorway. And so that's what it sort of reminds me of. So there's that one, and then a Big Twist Value in the color Rainbow Bright. And so see, this one's a little more like a teal and a little bit not really pastel, but kind of brighter colors. And then this one has a little bit of a darker shade of these random colors. There's some pink in it, and some like lime green, and a little bit of black in there too, and some blue. This kind of reminds me of like neon. Like, I don't know why this isn't called neon, because the green and even the blue, there's some purple in here too, but like the pink and the green and even the blue, it kind of reminds me of the shades of colors that are usually called neon, but it's just called Rainbow Bright. It should be like Rainbow Neon, but that's sort of what it reminds me of. Kind of like that neon skein of Red Heart. I forget what it's called. Blacklight, the one that's over here that you probably can't even see, whatever. But it kind of reminds me of that in a way. And the Big Twist Value in the color Candy Bowl. It has some blues and pinks and greens and a little bit of black and orange. And I guess if I'm gonna go by the colorway name, I guess what it reminds me of are like those candies like around Christmas that I've seen videos of, or no, I think it was an old episode of Unwrapped. Do you remember that show? It used to be on Food Network and stuff. But they would make those taffy things, and they would roll out the different colors, and then they would form it into the things, and then it would get rolled down into like, you know, this big, and then they'd slice it, and like those candies like that. That's what it kind of reminds me of. If I'm going to go by the color Candy Bowl, but it kind of reminds me of those kind of colors. A little more muted than these other skeins. See, like this one is so really neon colors, and then this one's kind of a more muted shade of all these colors. But it's a really nice variegated skein. And then this one, I think this is probably my favorite. I mean, I love the gray, but I think this is my favorite. Big Twisted Value and the color Unicorn Magic. And I do love that. I mean, I love the color of this even before I realized it was called Unicorn Magic. It's different shades of blue and purple and a little bit of white or ivory mixed in it. A really nice colorway. And so those are the ones they had in my store. And so they were buy one get one 50% off. The regular price of these was $4.49. So with the discount, I got $6.75 off. So that was a really good price for these. So buy one get one 50% off. So that was a good deal on all those big twists. And then, like I said, I went into Hobby Lobby. It was on their shipment day, and I didn't really have a sense of urgency to go over there. But I thought, you know, I'll check in there to see if they have any yarn. And then, of course, you know, they had the cart up there, and then didn't clearance that day. And so I went to Hobby Lobby the next day. Like, I went to other stores, and I'll get to that stuff after this yarn, but I went to other stores because I thought that I know that cart's going to be gone. I didn't want to like walk in there and just be immediately disappointed to see all of it gone. And so I went to all these other places, and then I decided to just pop into Hobby Lobby just to, you know, see if they had any. And then they actually had some, and like I said, some of the really pretty ones were gone, but there are some really nice ones in here. So Yarn Bee Tender Touch in the color Shadow. It's this black color. It's a really nice, soft yarn. I think this is a chunky, or a bulky 5, whatever. And so this was regular $3.49. Got it for 87 cents. Oh, that was a mug from Salvation Army's Harry Potter mug. That's what that ding was. No, it was the ding of a timer telling me to, you know, get on with the story. You know, hurry up. So 87 cents for this. This yarn is really, really soft. It's a little bit fuzzy. It kind of reminds me of the kind of fuzz that the Yarn Bee True Colors has, but it's really nice and soft. And so this is only 87 cents. I couldn't believe that. So there's that one. And then I love this yarn, calm damn it, and the color Light Taupe. So it is like a light tan color. So all these were $4.99. Got it for $1.24. These I love this yarn. Hopefully that's going to stay that way in the future. And then Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek Chunky. Speaking of, this is a really nice yarn. I mean, working with that black to make that cap or whatever for my hat. It was so, I love this chunky yarn. There's a lot of Yarn Bee yarns that should be called, like should be under there. I love this yarn brand because they're so nice. Their chunky yarn in this Soft and Sleek is so incredibly nice and so easy to work with. I loved making that hat. And so, but this is kind of like a stone blue color. This is regular $4.99. Got it for $1.24. The color is Crisp Air, whatever, but it's like a stone blue. And then a Baby Bee Sweet Delight in the color Baby Sage. This was regular $5.99 and got it for $1.49. That soft, really thin baby yarn. I think this is a 3-weight. Yeah, light 3. And so I always say like light 3, but it says like 3 light. So I don't know if I'm like, I'm always like, people are probably saying, you keep saying light 3, but it's a 3 light. I don't know if now I'm like, you know, 2 in my head, you know, wondering like, am I saying it right? It's just because of that haul a couple weeks ago when I gotten those skeins, and they said like a light 5, and then when I was looking at the label, I was thinking technically it says 5 light, not light 5. And so like, and I was like wondering like, did I get it wrong? And have I gotten it wrong all of this time? Like, who cares at this point? But anyway, so it's like a light 3, or a 3 light. And so this is regular $5.99. Got it for $1.49, which I've already said, I think. And so it's just like a sage green. But this is more like a darker sage than some of these. Like this one, I think this is a sage green too. So like, you can't go by like, you know, a sage green, because there are different shades of the green. This is more of like a darker sage green. And then this is one of those bamboo yarns. I'm getting a lot of that. I mean, I got a lot in those 2 hauls that I got from Goodwill, and then I do have a lot of this anyway. But there was another one over there at Hobby Lobby, Yarn Bee Bambootiful in the color Sage. And so like, this is the different, like these are completely different shades, but they're both called Sage. See, this is more of like a regular green color. It's not really like a sage. There are a lot of sage greens that aren't really this shade of green, but this one is even less of a sage green. This is kind of like a yellowish green in a way, but it's called sage. But this is regular $5.99. Got it for $1.49. It's one of those bamboo yarns. And then I love this cotton, and then the color royal. So it's like this really nice vibrant royal blue. I love that. This was regular $4.49. Got it for $1.12. Oh. Now I'm like worrying about pennies, but we have to now that they're not making pennies anymore. No, usually their cotton was like regular $3.99, and I'd say I'd get it for 99 cents. So I guess they went up on the cotton to $4.49, and now they're being clearance to $1.12. So I'm losing 12 pennies, but it's in a really nice blue color. It's worth the price, especially since I got it for $1.12. So there's that one, and then one of these Yarntopias, like as soft as the bamboo yarn is, this Yarntopia is really, it's like the soft version of that, and it's really shiny too. So Yarn Bee Yarntopia in the color hummus. I don't think I've gotten a colorway called hummus before, because I would have said something about how I love chickpeas, and I would have mentioned something about hummus. But anyway, so it is kind of like a chickpea color, like sort of a tan color. And so this is regular $4.49. Got it for $1.12. And so there's that one. And then they had two skeins of these this string yarn. And so the mandala or mandala or whatever string. And what's cool is that these are 75% off, because like I know that mandala or mandala is like, see, it's a line brand. Like when they would have something like this on the big markdown, because it wasn't their brand, they would only clearance it to 50% off. So it's nice to see that these were 75% off. And so the regular $6.49 for these, I guess because these aren't their brand, or it could just be like this is supposed to be some kind of luxury yarn. But these were $1.62 a piece, or no, this one was $1.99. So the regular price for this one must have been higher than that. Yeah, the regular price for this one was $7.99. The regular price for this one was $6.49. So this is regular $8 for this. So this must be luxury yarn. And here I am going to be using this, if I don't use it for something ridiculously creative, use it to like mix into other yarns and stuff, when this is supposed to be like really nice luxury yarn to make something really delicate and dainty with. But anyway, this one is the colorway Jingle, which has different shades of brown and orange, and kind of like a terracotta red. And so I don't know why it's called Jingle, because like when I hear jingle, I think of like Jingle Bells and Christmas. It doesn't really say Christmas to me. And on this underside, it has a little bit of like a magenta pink in it too. So it doesn't really remind me of Christmas. Of course, I guess Jingle can be all kinds of other things, but that's what this colorway is. And then this is the string, and the colorway is called Jazz. Has like these peach colors and yellow and a really nice shade of blue and some purple, and a really interesting yarn. And I probably will, like, this would be the perfect kind of yarn in my head, if I'm not going to use it by itself, to like mix in a white or something, like a sort of maybe like one of these fuzzy kind of whites, and then mix this in to add like some really pretty color to it. I don't know, just to like make this color stand out. So that this is the only color in it, but I think that the colors like this would go really well with like a white or something. But anyway, so that's the haul from Hobby Lobby. Yeah, I missed out on some of the really pretty ones, but there are some really nice ones in here. I just couldn't believe they had any at all, so I went ahead and grabbed these up. So I got those. And then the rest of the stuff is just kind of like more variegated things. One of the places I had gone to in between all this stuff is I went to Dollar Tree, and what I was looking for was, if you even care, I was looking down the toy aisle, and when I went to that town where my Joanne was, I went into their Dollar Trees, and they have, I like to look in the toy aisle where they have the little figurines, because I've gotten some in the past that are like Nickelodeon, like Ren and Stimpy, and Hey Arnold, and like these little tiny figurines and stuff. And so I like to look in that section. And they had some Power Ranger ones one time, and so I've gotten some Power Ranger ones, and for some reason they don't have the yellow. They hardly ever have the yellow, which is stupid. And I did this little hack thing that somebody said online, where you can take one of the other Rangers and actually paint it yellow. I'll have to show it in a future video, but I actually made a little yellow Ranger to go with all my other ones. But anyway, so I went into my Dollar Trees, and I keep looking for other ones, in case they have like a White Ranger, or they have like some of the later ones or whatever. But when I was looking in there one time, I noticed that like the ones that I had, they don't have these little holographic cards in them. And so I noticed that in one of the Dollar Trees, from here to the town where my Joanne was, there was a Green Ranger that had a holographic card in it. And so I couldn't remember if mine that I'd gotten had a holographic card in it. And so I went to my local Dollar Tree, like looking for that thing. And they had the Green Ranger, but they didn't have one with the holographic card. So I figured like the Dollar Tree that I went to, that where I saw that, and left it because I wasn't sure if mine had a little card with it. I do have some of the other ones with cards with it. Doesn't really matter. You're probably thinking, okay, blah blah blah, who cares? But the one that they had in my store didn't have that little card with it. But anyway, so like while I was down the toy aisle, I was kind of looking around to see if they had any anything else there, and I looked where the puzzles were to see if they had any puzzles with cats on it or whatever, but they didn't. Or they had one that I already put together and stuff. And so, but I was looking around in the toys, and I saw this thing. It had a cat on it, and it's called Kitty in My Pocket. It's those things where, like kids nowadays, they say, "Oh, I want a toy, I want a toy," and then they, it's like a surprise kind of toy. I hate that kind of stuff. I mean, I know this is just for kids, and it's like this fun surprise thing, so they like get to open up the packages, and sometimes they have like the little pop figures, or they have little toys like that where you never know what you're gonna get, so that when you open it up, it's like a surprise. But like for older people like me, that I'm 40 years old, and I'm complaining about some little kitty in my pocket thing. Why can't I get the one that I want? It's just kind of stupid. I guess it doesn't really matter with something like this, but like when it's something collectible, like a little pop figure or something like that, or like a little Power Rangers thing, or some kind of like fandom thing that they know that adult collectors might want to. I hate that you can't see what it is, but I know that these are made for kids, not for us, that collects things. But anyway, so when I saw this, I was looking at it, and on the package, it has balls of yarn, and so like this little kitty or whatever, and then on the back and on the box too. They showed like all the different ones that they have. So when you open it up, you know that it's going to be at least one of these. And then one of them on here, it looks like a cat with a yarn ball. So it looks like this. And so I saw that on the box or the package or whatever, and I was thinking, I want that cat. Like I was gonna stand there and like buy every single one of the ones that they had just to get that if I had to. But it turns out these were $1.75 a piece. It's worth it. But anyway, so I was looking at it. I was thinking, okay. You can, it's like luckily this isn't like a box. This is like a flimsy plastic package. So I was thinking, I can like, kind of maneuver it around in the package and kind of feel. And I thought I could find the one with the yarn ball, because all of the other ones, they don't have like a big rounded thing that has the texture of a yarn ball on it. They're all just like kind of basic kitties. And there's one that's like laying down or whatever. But like I thought, this is the only one that has like a rounded area on the bottom of it. And then it has like the texture because it's gonna be a ball of yarn. And so I stood there and I was like, feeling it and stuff, and trying to feel it. And the first one I felt, I thought, this feels like that cat. So I got a couple other ones, and I was feeling it, and I was thinking, okay, that's not it, because it doesn't have the rounded area, and this one, it has to be that flat one because it's extra long. And but I thought like the first one I picked up, I thought this has to be it. And so I went ahead and bought it. So I told my mom about it. I said, don't get too excited, because I don't know if I got the right one or not, but I feel like I might have gotten the kitty with the yarn ball in it. So we just sat out in the car, and we were just like, gently opening it, like really excited, kind of like Charlie and Willy Wonka in the Chocolate Factory opening up that candy bar, and just like we were opening it, like just hoping it would be the kitty with the yarn ball. And then I opened it up, I literally went, oh, like we got so excited because it actually was the kitty. And so this is the kitty with the yarn ball. Look how adorable this is. I could not believe it. Like I probably would have bought every single one of those things in there just to get this, if this wasn't the right one, but I just felt like it was, because you could feel the texture, like the yarn ball has a texture on it. And so I don't know how many of these there are, so I don't know if this is going to exist by the time this video comes out, but if it does, and you go into your store, there's a box and it shows, or in the back of the packaging too, but it shows like which ones are in there. If you feel around, you can find this, and so it's worth it if you can try to find one of these, because this is just adorable, this little kitty with the yarn ball. So it's going to go on my shelf when I reassess this room and reorganize it and stuff, and have my accessories. I'll put it over here with all my other ones for right now, but it's gonna go on my little shelf somewhere. But I just couldn't believe I found it. We got so excited. If anybody was in the parking lot looking at us in the car, they probably would have thought, what the hell are they getting so excited for? Like we were like two little kids, like getting excited over this tiny little kitty with a yarn ball, because it was so exciting that it was the one that I wanted. So I got that at Dollar Tree. And then we did go to Salvation Army, and that's where this mug came from. And so it's like a Harry Potter mug, like the Hogwarts crest, and it has the different houses on the back. This was $3.99 at Salvation Army, so I thought that was really nice. It was the day after the shipment day at Hobby Lobby, and my Salvation Army closes at 5 o'clock, and so I usually never get to go there because I'm going to Hobby Lobby looking for a clearance yarn. But I thought like that was the day I sort of drug my feet, and I thought, well, they're probably not going to have the yarn, so like why even go there? Maybe we can like pop into Salvation Army, because we never get to go down there, because I'm usually popping my head into Hobby Lobby to see if they have any yarn. And so we went into Salvation Army, and I got this mug or whatever, and then I was shocked like after I had gone to a couple places, and we were like, getting giddy over a freaking little thing in the parking lot of Dollar Tree or whatever, and then go over to Hobby Lobby and they still had some yarn left. But they had that at Salvation Army when we went down there. And they did have a movie. My mom had heard this might be good. It does have a lot of good people in it. I've never seen it before, but Divine Secrets of the Yaya Sisterhood. I don't know if that's going to be any good. And then they had in the VHS tapes. Like I keep saying that I love those Hallmark Hall of Fame movies, and after the pandemic, we went to like every Dollar General and within like 50 miles to look for their movies, because they had they were getting in the Hallmark Hall of Fame movies on DVD, and we just love those. And it also turned out to be this excuse to like get us out of the house after the pandemic and isolating and all that kind of stuff. So we went to all these Dollar Generals to collect all the Hallmark Hall of Fame movies. And but some of them haven't made their way to DVD yet. And so they had this one in there on VHS. One Against the Wind. I don't know if this is going to be any good or not, but usually their Hallmark Hall of Fame movies are pretty good. There have been a couple duds, but like for the most part, they're really good. They're the kind of movies that Hallmark Channel should make. I love the Hallmark Hall of Fame. The Hallmark Channel movies are just like generic, the same kind of thing. Then you know what's going to happen if you see a commercial. Two people that fall in love, and it's the same story except it's just a different location. Two people fall in love at a county fair. Two people fall in love working on a thing together for the town. Two people fall in love in a yogurt shop. Two people fall, like, you know what I'm saying? It's the same kind of thing. But these Hallmark Hall of Fame movies are really good, and they're not about like I mean, some of them are about falling in love, but they're not the kind of sappy, predictable sort of in my mind the stereotypical like Danielle Steele kind of stories. Like that's why my mom doesn't read Danielle Steele anymore, because she said that she would know how the book would end the second she started reading it, because it became so formulaic. It sort of feels that way when you sit down and watch a Hallmark Channel movie. Like you already know what's going to happen, and they're going to fall in love at the end. You're not shocked when they fall in love at the end. But these, you never know what's going to happen in these, because even though some of them do have something to do with like love stories, some of them don't, and they're like really good movies. And so every time I see a Hallmark Hall of Fame movie, I get it. And so I didn't have that one, so I got that one. And then the only other thing they had was this little mustache cup. My mom got she picked it up and she said, "Oh God, this reminds me of one that my dad used to have." Because like I said, her dad, who his flag is sitting right here on this chest of drawers, he died when she was like a really young teenager, like 12 or 13 or something. She was really young when he died. And for her to have like pick up something in Salvation Army, and for it to like bring back a memory for her of her dad, like when you're that young and somebody dies, you barely have any memories of them. But like she has a small number of memories of her dad, and so for her to pick up this mug and like a little mustache cup or whatever, and for her to for it to make her think of her dad, I thought, we're gonna get that cup. And she said, "Oh, I don't need that mustache cup." And I said, like, that's what knickknacks are for. I mean, the knickknacks are for like decorating your house, but they're also for like bringing back memories and stuff. If like picking up this mustache cup is going to make her think of her dad, and somebody that she only knew for like maybe 13, 14 years or whatever, then it's worth the $5 for the little mustache cup. So we got it, and so it even has like the little brush in it and everything, and I mean it looks kind of old timey, and it has like the horse-drawn carriage. Not that she's like that old, but they were like driving around in a horse-drawn carriage or anything. But you know what I'm saying? It just looks it looks like an old timey kind of mustache cup. And so it just reminded her of her dad, so we got it for her. So $4.99, but it was worth every penny. And then I did pop into Ollie's just to see if they had any yarn, and they didn't. But I did get this picture from my mom, because like I said, she loves the beginning of. I love The Lion King too, but like she loved like the opening scene of The Lion King is like the favorite thing that she loves about that movie. And like every time it's on TV, she watches it, because like everybody loves that iconic opening to The Lion King. So she likes to collect animals that remind her of that opening scene, and especially if there's like the mother and the baby, or the father and the baby, or whatever. But I was in Ollie's and I saw this picture, and it kind of reminded me of The Lion King, and so I got it from my mom to add to her collection. It's gorgeous picture with giraffes on it, and my mom, it's not like a mother and a baby, but she loves that moment when they're walking up that hill, and then the little baby like walks into the sun, and it has his eyes sort of closed because of the sunlight. She loves that moment, and so she loves giraffes, and so I thought, I'm gonna get this for my mom. So I got that for her to add to her collection. And then the only other place we went was Goodwill. And they had this thing, speaking of her collection, I guess it's for like pins or something, I don't know, but it has elephants on it, and it's going to go with her collection too. Like, see, it has the mother or the father or whatever, and the babies, and it has all these elephants on it. This is gorgeous. I mean, I guess it's for pins or something, but it's just going to go with her animal collection, and I'll make her think of the Lion King and stuff. And so got that for her. And then the only other thing, I saved this for last, even though it's for me. But we were walking towards the registers, and right off the registers, they have all the purses and stuff. And I'm always looking in the purses because I always look for Beatles purses for my mom. I've gotten some Wizard of Oz purses. I'm always looking for Lucy purses, or anything Lucy related at all in the store. But like, I've gotten some Lucy purses before. It's weird how many purses I have, like actual purses, not like, I mean, I have a lot of like over the shoulder or cross body bags or whatever that, you know, that are practically purses, but I have some actual like literal purses, and I do have a lot of Lucy purses. But I was looking at the purses, and I was pretty far away, but like I've said, if I see anything Lucy related, anything Beatles related, any yarn, like I have radar for certain things like that, and anything Lucy related, I can see a Lucy logo heart from like far away. I mean, it's like I have a freaking radar. And so I was like looking that way, and my mom was like walking with me, and like I just like walked towards it, and like my mom knows that like if we're walking and then all of a sudden I like take off and like walk away from her, she knows that, oh, he sees something. It's kind of like that. It's like this radar, and I saw it from far away, and I saw there's Lucy on it. And so I found this purse, and I don't need a freaking purse, but I got it anyway. But of course I got it, I don't care. But it's an I Love Lucy purse, and it's her from the ballet episode, and so I saw her on it. And see, like this little, I mean, I don't even think I saw this little tag hanging off of it. I think it was like that. I can see this Lucy heart, because the heart is a very particular shape. The shape of the I Love Lucy heart is a very distinct shaped heart that I can tell from far away. But of course you could see her on this too, but I saw the heart. But they had this in the purses, and I couldn't believe it. So of course I got it. It was a little pricey. I think it was $7.99 for this, but I didn't care. If this was Beatles related, if this was Lucy, if this was Wizard of Oz, I probably would have spent the same amount. I probably spent more on some Lucy stuff before. But $7.99 is a lot, especially for you know, Goodwill, because I know they got this for free. But it still has a plastic on the strap or whatever, so it has a really nice, it's a brand new strap. Like it's not like I'm gonna carry this. It's just going to go in my Lucy collection. But it's such a nice purse, and it has the original tag and everything, and so it was worth every penny. So that was the last thing I got at Goodwill. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one.